Mr. Matakane, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for being on ENCA. Does the Basic Education Department enjoy your full support in this plan?
Good afternoon, Tembegile Mkhototo and all your listeners. Yes, I think the Department of Education does enjoy our support, as we always supported them all the way. And we always talk to them where we differ. And if you remember, Tembegile, is that we always differed when to open schools. And we always discuss with them that, look, the system is not yet ready based on a number of things, particularly, if you remember well, Tembegile, is the question of the non-negotiables. Schools supposed to have reopened grade 12, grade 7 on the 1st of June, and we engaged the minister. Then he changed, then grade 12, grade 7, then reopened on the 8th of June. Then we have been in engagement for the coming, all the grades, if you remember, until the minister then had our understanding, had the understanding of parents, had the understanding of teachers, as well as learners and the community. Then she cut on the number of children that's supposed to go back on the 6th of July. And based on the social distancing, because she realized that what we have been raising was the question of coronavirus demands is that there must be social distancing. So it means, therefore, there is not a space that is needed by the children. So hence, then, we are thrilled that now she finally cut on the number of children who are supposed to go back to school.
And let's speak about the pupils who've already gone back to school. What have your observations been as far as compliance with what you've termed the non-negotiables?
Thank you very much once again, Tembegile. Is that you will have realized that schools open, close, open, close, open, close. And then it is true that in some instances, it was a question of the health standard. What I'm referring to as now, people who would stand by the entrances and screen and isolate and trace and refer. Then you see, it was not strengthened in the sense that now you will find that some teachers, some children will only be identified when they are in the school instead of being identified at the entry point, so that now they can easily be isolated before even they get into the school. So that was the area that we are still saying, Department of Education, please make sure that you strengthen that area, because if you don't strengthen the area, then we are going to continue. It will defeat the purpose, because if school open this week, then closes next week, I mean, it defeats the purpose of bringing these children back into the schools.
I want to get your view on something else. On Wednesday, we had Mmusi Maimane, leader of the One South Africa movement, on the show. You know, they've been going to court trying to have schools closed, raising concerns about sending children back into the classroom, especially when much of the country is now bracing, or still preparing at least, for the peak where COVID-19 infections are concerned. More than 700 schools have so far been affected, we're reading. Do you support the call by the movement at any point that we see a complete shutdown of schools? When would you support that?
We don't support, as we said, Tembegile, that we have been supporting the minister through and throughout. And what they did not realize was that now we have to be very careful when we oppose. We must oppose within the law. Then the Constitution of the country, Section 29, talks about the right to basic education. So you must balance that. And one of the things that we don't know when the COVID-19 is going to end. And whatever we do, we must be very careful that we are not trampling upon the rights of the children for education. So we are supporting the Department of Education, and we will not support any movement where the school has to be shut down. Then we have to support to say, let's ensure that when our children are going back to class, they are safe. Safety first. And I think this is the principle that all along we have been emphasizing, that safety first. Then, and hence we are talking about the non-negotiables when we discuss with the minister that, Minister, before you ensure that all the non-negotiables are in place in school, don't open the school. The system is not ready. And you will find that now, finally, we agreed with the minister to say now, yes, if then all the negotiables are in place, then you can. But at the same time, there was a question of the social distancing. And that's why finally she cut on the number of children that's supposed to go back to class.
Matakanya, as always, good to speak to you. Thank you, sir.